Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about heartbreak is the best thing that will ever happen to you, okay? So why is the heartbreak the best thing that will ever happen to you? So one of the reasons is that it kind of wakes you up a little bit when it comes to romance and love, okay? And this is something that I sort of discovered when I was in my teenage years, because there were loads of times, basically, where I got rejected. And what that taught me was, love isn't like how it is in the movies or in Disney, right? In Disney movies. It's a lot more complicated, it's a lot more nuanced, and basically fairy tales aren't real in that kind of regard, right? When it comes, there's no like happily ever after. That you can't do like a big grand gesture for a woman and they're gonna fall in love with you. Because I did that. I did my big grand gestures and had this like very romantic look about love because I'd watched too many romantic comedies. I'd watched too much Disney, and I thought, oh, love conquered all, right? And obviously love is the most important part of life. At least that's what I think anyway. But it's not like that. It's not like the movies. It's not like Disney fairy tales, okay? So that's one thing. Like when you go through a heartbreak, it wakes you up to the reality of romantic relationships, okay? So the next thing is how you move on from this situation, basically. So when you've got your heart broken, either you got rejected by someone that you really, 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 really liked, or you got dumped by someone that you loved and you didn't want the breakup to happen. There's either two things that you can do. You could either let it destroy you and make you be really grumpy and mean and cold now, and give you like a really toxic view, I should say, about relationships, right? Because I've seen that happen to people. They become really bitter and cold, and it's just really unattractive, basically. It's a really unattractive quality. Or you could learn from it and grow from it, right? Which is the path that I hope that you're going to take, right? After you've had your heart broken, right? And so what that means is that, you look back on the relationship, or you look back on what happened, when you got rejected, and you figure out, what did I do wrong here? What happened here? You start searching for answers, essentially, like what did I do that could have prevented this from happening, or what could I have learned from this? Or what can I learn from this? Okay, so basically, when I went through a situation where I'd gone through a breakup. This was the first ex that I had, the first relationship that I had. And I started dating a girl, sort of, and I really, really, really liked her, right? But she rejected me. And it really confused me because, because the girls that had rejected me before were all straight. So, I came to the conclusion that, okay, I should just find someone who's bi or lesbian, right? So when I found a lesbian that I really liked, it really confused me that she was rejecting me, because I was like, what? But I am a woman, you are a woman, we both like women, why is this not working out? What's going on? And to be honest, from the beginning, I went out and searched for how I could get her back, how I could make her more interested in me, how I could make her fall in love with me. That's essentially what I started to do. I started looking up advice on that, right? And it didn't work. Right? It didn't, I couldn't find any advice on that kind of thing. And the advice that I did find didn't work. Okay. But then I started to research a lot more, and I started to find things that were not essentially going to bring her back, but it made me more open to dating, like the new ideas about dating and relationships. It gave me more clues on how dating and relationships actually works. And I started to dive really deep into like self-help, dating techniques and relationship techniques, and I got really obsessed with those topics. And that's essentially how I became a coach, because I learned all that stuff, and then I started to apply it into my own life, into my own dating life, and I started to have more success, And eventually, I was single for about 3 years. I had a sort of like a couple of like mini sort of like relationships, but it was only never really got past the dating stage. And I got better. I managed to improve my life in that area. But as you can see, like, it came from heartbreak. It came from a place where I wasn't happy at all. I learned so much stuff that I was able then to teach other people about it, to help other people about it. And I also got better results myself. So, it all stemmed from that breakup, right? If I didn't go through that rejection, rather, not breakup, if I didn't go through that rejection, then I wouldn't have learned what I learned now. I wouldn't have known what I know now. I wouldn't be in the relationship that I have now, because if I didn't learn any of that stuff and I was still that weak and needy pleaser, there's no way that I would have landed my wife, because my wife was telling me about how a while ago she told me about the other people that she had dated and people that she was dating around the time that we were dating. And they all were behaving. She picked me, but the people that she was dating were behaving in all the same ways that I would have previously, right, been behaving. Okay, so I would not have been able to have landed my wife. I would not have been able to have kept my wife and stayed in this relationship with her if I had not learned what I had learned. And I'm extremely happy with my wife. We're so happy. We have a great relationship. Of course, we have some issues, because every relationship does now and again, but from the most part, we're really, really happy, and we have a great relationship. We know how to communicate with each other, we know how to talk, we still date each other, we have a good time, and it's still romantic, it's still really good. So, you can either let these situations break you, or they can make you. You got to realize that, okay, I've gone through a heartbreak, I feel awful, right? But I need to learn from this. I've got to make this a situation where I grow, rather than it's going to diminish me. In that sort of way, you become like an alchemist, because I know, like, the proper definition, or the main connotation to that is where you're turning metal into gold. But in like when you're like a relationship and dating alchemist, it's sort of like you're changing your bad behaviors, you're learning from these different things. You're taking this heartbreak and you're turning it into a triumph, because you're learning from it, and you're not going to let it destroy you, you're not going to let it break you, you're not going to let it demoralize you, you're not going to let it make you feel awful about yourself. Okay, so that's how, heartbreak can be one of the best things for you, and can be the best thing that ever happened to you, as long as you don't let it destroy you and make you become a bitter and horrible, resentful person. You got to learn from it, you got to grow from it, you got to not be stubborn, right, and realize that, hey, you know what, perhaps the reason why this didn't work out is because I have some gaps in my knowledge. Perhaps there are some things that I need to learn. And you look back on your relationship, or the fact that you got rejected, with complete honesty, right? And realize what you did, what you could have done better, and figure out what you're not good at so you can become better. Like, maybe one of the reasons you got rejected is because you went up to a woman and you were stuttering, you was uncomfortable, and you realized that, hey, you know what? If I was probably more confident, then maybe she would have said yes to going out with me. Now, of course, you don't know that, but if you can tell, like, you feel really insecure, you don't have to speak properly when you're around someone that you like, then you got to think, okay, maybe I need to learn on my social skills. Maybe I've got to get better at that. Maybe I've got to get better at communicating with other people, because perhaps that's one of the reasons why I keep on getting rejected. Or if it was like a heartbreak situation, and if it was like an if it was like an ex sort of situation where you got dumped by an ex, you got to figure out, okay, what could I have done that contributed to them breaking up with me, right? What if for a moment, even if you feel like you did nothing wrong, just look back on it and think, okay, there are some things in my head that I know that I did that I could have done better. What are those things? And then you get better at those things, so those things don't happen again, right? So you become better, you grow from it. You don't go from one relationship straight into another and not learn from the previous relationship. You're always growing. So in that sense, because what I found is the most difficult situations in my life, the most difficult situations in my life have helped me, have made me grow more, has really benefited me in some kind of in some sort of way, right? It's benefited me. And recently I went for a really tough situation, and at the moment I'm still sort of learning from it. I still can't quite make sense of what happened. And if you're interested in that, then you can go and check out my channel. I think the video, my other channel, my personal development channel, I think the video was called Why I Stopped Uploading to this YouTube channel. And you can see that right there. There are some things that I have learned from it, but I'm still trying to walk my way through it and figure out what the benefit was there, and how I can grow from that situation. I'm still learning that. And so therefore in my life I personally welcome failures. I personally welcome tough situations where I get my heart stomped on, because usually there's something in there that I need to learn, right? There's something in there that I need to grow from, right? And all you have to do is look for it, and you got to seek out information on how to help yourself so you can become better. So that's my advice on that. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.